Say his name. Patrick. We want justice for Patrick. Here we go, all over again. We got another George Floyd incident here. They're going to try to find this police officer guilty because he was doing his job. All he did was stop the guy, was going to ask him some questions and get to the bottom of it, but we couldn't even get to the bottom of it. No, he had to pull away from the police officer. He had to run from the police officer, wrestle with the police officer. Police officer steady telling him, slow your roll, big boy, slow your roll. No, he wouldn't slow his roll. So the officer pulled the taser out, and then he'd wrestle with him trying to take the taser away from him. Could not get the guy under control when all that he had to do was listen to the police officer, find out what's going on. Worst case scenario, he would have got locked up and he would have been bonded out the same day or the next day at the latest probably, and then they could have took care of this in court. But no, any American citizen should know. Well, wait a minute. He wasn't an American citizen, was he? No, that's right. He's a refugee from the Congo. Well, you should have learned from you had a guy in the passenger seat with you. You know, he should have told you when you got pulled over, look here, big boy, I don't know how y'all do it in the Congo, but if you don't want to get in no more trouble or worse trouble, or even get killed by acting a fool like you might do, just listen to the police officer, and if you get locked up, we'll come get you out, either today or tomorrow, and then we'll handle it in the court system. But no, all this has done happened now, and they're peaceful protests right now, so-called. But even some of the stores in the downtown area have started boarding up, getting prepared for this Black Lives Matter, who don't care about black people whatsoever. They're getting ready for chaos, because what happens when something like this happens? When you got an unruly black who doesn't know how to act, and something like this happens, he tries to take the taser, and the police officer shoots him and kills him. Well, now they're going to blame the police officer, and they'll say it was because he was a black man. No, it wasn't because he was a black man. It was because it was a man who didn't know how to act, a man who didn't want to cooperate with the law, and then he had the consequences. The consequences wasn't good, was it? Nope. Now you got Ben Crump, or Ben, whatever his name is, coming down here now to try to set things up where they can get a bunch of money out of it. And you're going to have blacks just rioting. And like I said, they got some of the stores already boarded up. You know how they do. You know how they've done for every case. Brianna, say her name, Brianna. Say his name, George Floyd. No, they don't want no justice. They just want to act up and blame the white man as always. But I got some video here for you. Check it out.
Children! Yeah! We matter! Woo! We matter!
Now I'm going to speak a little bit about fear. I'm going to speak a lot of bit about fear. Where do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
Where do we want it?
Now!
All streets!
All streets! All streets!
Take his name!
Patrick!
Name the killer cop!
Name the killer cop!
Name the killer cop!
Name the killer cop!
We support
The family!
We support
The family!
We support
The family!
We stand next to
The family!
We stand next to
The family!
We stand behind
The family!
We support
The family!
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert. Breaking news from Grand Rapids. The video is graphic. It is difficult to watch. Grand Rapids police released several angles of a deadly police shooting that sparked protests earlier in the week.
Those videos show a lengthy struggle between the officer and 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya before the officer pulled the trigger, shooting him in the head.
And right now, that officer is on administrative leave as state police step in to investigate. Let's get to Sean Lay live in Grand Rapids, where a news conference wrapped up just in this last hour. Sean.
A lot coming out of that news conference we're going to get right to. We've also been here today investigating this shooting, Devin. We want to tell you about the players involved here. The person shot, Patrick Lyoya. He had two daughters. The governor says he came to Michigan with his family, escaping violence in his home country. It is not clear why he ran off or tried to run from this traffic stop. More about the police officer. We've learned he's not a rookie, but a 7-year veteran of Grand Rapids Police, and it's unclear why he decided or felt the need to use deadly force caught on camera. Take a look.
Stay in the car!
This is the view from the body camera of a 7-year veteran of the Grand Rapids Police Department. The officer joining the force in 2015. The person he stopped for the wrong plate on a vehicle, that is 26-year-old Patrick Lyoya, who gets out of his vehicle and refuses to follow the commands of the officer.
No, stop.
Lyoya tries to run, and that begins a 2-minute struggle between the officer and Lyoya. The officer fires his taser 2 times, both times striking the ground. Lyoya apparently had his hands on the officer's taser and apparently wouldn't let go of it. During the struggle, the chief says the officer's body camera is turned off due to the pressure between the officer's body, the camera, and Lyoya. The chief tells me the officer did not turn the camera off himself. The passenger with Lyoya taking this cell phone video shows the moment the officer is on top of Lyoya, then firing one fatal shot into the back of his head. Chief Eric Windstrom is a law enforcement veteran. He's also an attorney. He will not comment on this shooting. MSP is investigating, but he says it's a tragedy.
Well, I'll tell you the bad is that it's an absolute tragedy. It's heartbreaking. It's been a difficult time internally for the police department, but the good is it's prompted a lot of discussions and a lot of connections, which I plan to make down the road as I stayed here longer, but it's forced the issue even early. So I like to think that there is some positive.
A lot more to come out of this news conference that just wrapped up here at City Hall in Grand Rapids. I was able to ask the chief about the situation with the officer finding the need to be on top of Lyoya, drawing his weapon and then firing it. Again, the chief says it's under investigation from MSP. He says he's going to be as transparent as possible, but he says, look, the department policy on lethal force is when your life is in immediate danger. That is what is that's the question, under intense scrutiny right now. A lot more reaction from city leaders and from Grand Rapids coming up at 6 o'clock. In fact, you can see how quiet it is here. We've been around town all day. Some people working downtown have gone home early. Some shops have closed early, thinking that there could be some protests later this evening. We're live in Grand Rapids tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
Sean, talk more about that body camera, because you asked the chief about that too.
Interesting, because the chief made it clear he was releasing all of the video from this incident, and part of the video, big part, is the body camera that the officer was wearing, right. And then it shuts off midway through the struggle. He says his officer didn't shut it off. He says you have to have 3 seconds of pressure to shut this device off. He says it was the pressure between him, the camera, and Lyoya that shut off the body camera. So he's making it clear that the officer himself didn't turn it off.
Yeah. All right, Sean. Governor Whitmer released a statement today following the release of this video, too.
And it reads in part, quote, Patrick's father asked me to convey his hope that any demonstrations in his son's honor remain peaceful. And as governor, I share this view. We must come together and build a future where Black Michiganders are afforded equal rights, dignity, and safety in our communities, end quote.
Our coverage of the shooting in Grand Rapids continues on clickondetroit.com.
And there we'll continuously be updating our coverage with everything from today and as new developments happen. You can find the link right there in the top stories section.
Well, they want justice for Patrick. Well, they are investigating it, people. They are investigating it. And you don't need to be out there on the streets running around acting crazy and going to end up rioting and looting like you always do. There's no cause for all that. Now, he was a Congo refugee, all right? Y'all are Americans. Y'all supposed to have some sense. I don't know about them Congo people. They come over here, and he came over here to escape the injustice. Well, hell, he comes over here and creates injustice. But we got another George Floyd incident brewing right now. And like I said, they are investigating it, so they should leave the streets right now, go on back home, let the law handle it. But no, they're not going to do it. But when I find out some more, when they start tearing stuff up and stealing, you'll see it here on the Chickabone News Network.
Remarkable. Remarkable.